everybody, and welcome back. The question for today is it all in the hips? And the answer is going to be, it's all in the everything in the disc golf backhand. However, the hips are such a rate limiter and such a complicated part of the throw that I thought it was worth clarifying some of the points that I made earlier in the lower body module, make one correction to what I had mentioned there, and then walk through an intuitive progression to get more control over the hips. Now, you'll use the hips by leveraging the ground with your legs, being in correct posture, and activating in the correct sequence while maintaining balance throughout the swing. And I think it's really tempting for a lot of players to hop right to the X step and copy pro form with very big ranges of motion. But the problem is you can see that it decouples them from the ground and it decouples their legs from one another in their body, such that by the time they're actually swinging through, they might not be getting any additional power whatsoever from the legs and the hips. So what we'll do today is work on some motions that you can practice. You will see that I'm relying heavily on examples through ball golf because a lot of the leg action is fundamentally very similar. We are just in different postures because we're trying to sling the disc laterally toward the target on some angle rather than the wide up and down swing that is used in golf. So let's get started.
Okay, set a nice neutral stance, and all we're going to do is start using our toes and our heels, rocking back and forth and letting our hips follow that motion. Swing that arm back to lead the backswing, and you should feel your weight lifting out of that front leg as the backswing extends forward. A toe heel weight shift then should drive the swing back. So you're going to drive off that rear leg and into the plant foot, and you can see that weight flowing forward to drive the swing down and then up again. Level it out horizontally as though you would in the disc golf backhand. Same action here. I'm driving from my feet, toe heel, back to front. And you can practice then taking the full range of motion, fully weighting and then de-weighting from foot to foot. And again, the key is toe heel, just like a walking motion. You want it to occur fluidly. You want to be driven through the feet and legs. If you set this position into the backswing, you can then use the drive foot to leverage the ground. So you can feel pressure moving into the plant heel, and that weight shift will lead the swing forward. And that rear leg is fully de-weighted. And you can add the swing in the off arm here, using those ground forces to drive the entire swing. So again, I'm just using my foot action to shift my weight forward, fully de-weighting that rear foot. Get that shoulder loaded up behind your rear hip as though you were to actually throw. And find leverage with that drive foot into the plant with the weight shift. I'm planting toe heel, and if I allow the swing to propagate through, it'll pull me around. So this is generating easy power. I'm not doing anything with my upper body other than just letting it follow the natural motion driven by my legs. So I'm loaded more into the toe in the back, find leverage. I land toe heel, I swing through. So start to lengthen your strides out a little bit, still with the same toe heel foot action, and allow that swing to propagate. And again, most of that motion is just driven from the ground force in this case, and my weight moving and the rotation occurring by following the natural pattern. So think a golf swing or hockey slap shot here, where you'll let weight shift completely while swinging like this, as though swinging through. And you can do this with just your arms. Load back into the drive leg, and then load forward into the plant leg. So you want this action working both ways, feeling plenty of pressure against the earth and balancing and counterbalancing. You should feel quite a bit of force as your leg is leveraged against the ground, keeping you from falling. And my arms are swinging just because of those forces. If we move it into the disc golf backhand, we can now stagger a stance as though throwing a standstill, stack up. Same action. So now we're using toe heel. You can see those hips clearing back and opening out very nicely just because I am allowing that weight to shift forward with that toe heel action. And you can stride and swing. I know. I'm going to try and convince you to learn all of these things in standstills and power it up to over 400 feet, but you really want to know about the X step. So don't worry, we're here for you. So let's talk about this drive leg because I think it's really confusing in a lot of subtle ways. It should function a lot like a pogo stick where as soon as it inherits your weight, which is drifting ahead of the X step with the butt leading forward, that your momentum will carry you forward and the drive leg will additionally leverage you forward with a pogo-like effect against the ground. At the end of the drive phase, you'll feel almost as though you're falling into the plant, landing on a stiff and slightly squatted leg. This will also function like a pogo stick driving the swing. After that, the story is carrying through the momentum we've set up with that drive phase. Now this sets up the swing phase, in which we just want to carry through the momentum further as that plant step lands toe heel, bracing up, and then carrying through the momentum of the swing. And I can't tell you how many form reviews I've already seen where folks have some kind of drive leg process and maybe a plant leg embrace, but they really are not getting an entire fluid hip rock through the beginning of the drive phase, through the plant phase, and they're stalling out or have big gaps in their steps or they're jamming up that front hip. So work it out till it's fluid. Of course, a couple final remarks about important things to keep an eye on as you are learning a fluid hip rocking motion. First is don't clear that rear hip back and open too much because you can get jammed up on that front leg and sort of have to get your whole body to crash into and then work around it and follow through. So it's actually half of a hip rock. You're only getting that rear cock and you're not leveraging any of that plant stride fluidly to power the throw. Otherwise, slow down, take small strides, and please, I encourage you work from a standstill position to get a hip rock into your throw. And here are just some examples in my developing form. I'd been working very hard on trying to get this fluid hip rocking action and hip cock in the beginning of the X step through the plant step. And you can see at different speeds and tempos, I'm relatively on or off balance in different phases of that stride, even when I'm not going up to throwing speed. And here, because I'm so focused on trying to learn this fluid hip rock, which I'd never acquired in any other physical hobby or sport, it really does take slowing down, trying drills like I've listed here, other drills linked in the comments below. Special thanks to Seabass22 or Sidewonder22 for his advice and ongoing mentorship here. Also thanks to SocraDeez, Flatflip and Lostdoughnut for helpful discussions on hip mechanics. And here I'd like to correct something I said about triple extension. In other sports, this often refers to this position and maybe mechanism of getting the leg fully extended like this. And you'll see it in weightlifting, this kind of in position at the top of the lift. And if you go and observe the actual disc golf backhand, whether it's standstill or the X step, as you'll see here, we're not getting a full extension of that drive leg or the plant leg as is sometimes meant with the phrase triple extension, and the mechanisms of that phrase are debatable, whereas it's best to think of this action in disc golf as a pogo-like effect that drives momentum forward into the plant and swing. Check out the next module for more advanced drills for ground forces and lag.